Just telling you.
Sarah's favorite melon is honeydew.
We're starting
Okay,
with...
well, do it live.
Yep. So, anybody else want to just go ahead throw their favorite melons in the chat? You can absolutely.
These babies.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can. For once, we weren't talking about boobs for real. I'm gonna lean over so that you can see me in my frame. But Tyler is just doing some tech troubleshooting, so he will be right back. Okay, hi everybody. It's me, Elise. I'm waving over here at you. It's very funny to see. Okay. I will stop being entertained by the split screen. I'm allergic to watermelon, so everyone who says watermelon is their favorite melon, I'm offended.
I said honeydew, and everybody said ew at me.
I like honeydew. I think it's delicious.
That's right. That's why Elise and I are friends, you
That's
bastards.
why we're friends. No other reason.
No.
Oh my god.
Honeydew is bad.
Honeydew is not bad. Good honeydew is way better than cantaloupe.
That cantaloupe again, where I say Sarah's no longer my friend, and now Elise is my best friend.
I'm allergic. Heather, what's wrong with watermelon is I'm allergic to it. However, I do know how to say it in Mandarin, and it was extremely exciting when I found that word organically in my Mandarin lessons as I was taking them, because I'm also slightly obsessed with things that are related to watermelons because I'm allergic to them, and so I immediately sent it to everybody who knows that about me. I was like, you need to know this. Anyway, let's stop talking about melons. All melons.
I mean, that is how most of our Spire conversations start.
Somehow, the ritual has been fulfilled, and we
true.
can now begin.
Right.
Yes.
This time it was euphemistic.
Yeah. Well, this time it was literal. Instead of metaphorical.
Euphemistic for the ritual.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi. My name is Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I will be your GM tonight. I'm real excited about tonight's game. I've got a fun plan cooked up that the players are definitely not sweating. So let's charge through all of the things we have to get through. One cool thing is that with !donate, you can see a cause that we're highlighting this month or right now. And that happens to coincide with the fact that it is Asian American and Pacific Islander American, month. What's the word? Not awareness month, but visibility month,
I guess appreciation makes
month.
It sound weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but that when we theme months after people and groups of people, everything's fine. This is the world we live in, but hey, it is cool. It is good. And we have lots of cool resources compiled for you in the chat with !donate. Not only groups that are working to combat anti-Asian American, anti-Pacific Islander American / Pacific Islander racism, but also just things that you can learn about how to help. As Galway says, you can do things like donate your time and awareness. You can also spend money at places that are, Asian owned businesses, things like that. So lots of cool things. And we encourage you to check out those links and put your time, energy, money, if you can, any of those things that you can, towards causes that support those groups, because it's been bad. Yeah. The news has even recently been seeing some sad things. So let's, do what we can. With that, you can also use other commands in the chat, like !Discord, to hang out with us in the Discord, which we encourage you to do because we're generally speaking a pretty cool group of people. There's a few. Sam, you're nice. I'm just telling you. But the rest of us are all pretty cool people, and you can hang out with us in the Discord. I'm just kidding. Sam's great. We want you to hang out with him as well as the rest of us.
I was just thinking about last night's, wonderful Salt Marsh session.
It was a lot. It's fine.
Well, there we go.
It was very chat interactive, so that's
good.
Great. Yeah.
Let's see. Where are we? You can check out merch. There's really cool merch. I unfortunately don't have my amazing mug with me because it's in the dishwasher because I use it. But check out our merch. And okay. Let's do introductions and jump on in merch.
With Chelsea's poem.
And with Chelsea's poem.
Sorry, Andy and Lena were racing yesterday to put in the exclamation points in chat, and Andy got so excited that he got merch in first, but he wrote Nurch, and so now I've just been randomly typing exclamation point Nurch all the time.
Exclamation point push the button doesn't work when I'm GMing, I'm sorry to say. If someone else wants to take the duties of being push the button, you can find a random animal generator by searching it in your and then anytime someone types that, you can manually pick an animal for a person. But while GMing, I can't unfortunately keep that close of an eye on the chat. So, but you can check that out. You can see that happen live in tier next week on Friday. And that's a reminder that I didn't go over other programs. So tomorrow is Fates of Rin at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And then next week is Goats of Saltmarsh at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Wednesday.
We're moving to
it's
every
not.
other week.
Oh, no, it's
Sorry.
not. And then Thursday is us again at 6:30 Mountain Time. Okay. And then tier, where you can see push the button happen live and manually in action.
I was only half paying attention. There's no Fates of Rin this week.
Oh my God. There's
And
no Fates of Rin
Goats
this
of
week.
Saltmarsh.
There's
There
no
is
Goats
nothing
Yeah.
as
There's
of right
nothing.
now, I'm guessing. There's nothing in between here and the next Spire. We're taking a break
Okay.
for Fates of Rin, and then Goats of Saltmarsh is going to every other week.
Great.
But join us tomorrow night where Andy is going to be streaming some games and stuff.
Cool.
You hear that, everyone? We're all you have for a week.
Yes, excellent. Thank you for telling me all of these things, since I apparently pay very close attention to the scheduling announcements that I honestly
That are
literally
always
only know about
happening. Yep.
Fates of Rin because I'm in it. So don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do introductions, then we'll read Chelsea's poem, then we're going to dive in and try and get this thing going. So, I already said my name and pronouns, so I'm going to pass it to Rachel.
I just took a drink of water. It's fine. Hi, I'm Rachel. I said that like a robot. I am Rachel, and I go by she, her, hers pronouns, and I play Alfie, and she also goes by she, her, hers pronouns. And I'm going to point around the world this way to Ava.
Hello. Nice to meet all of you. Come here often. I'm the formerly Ava, now formless void that exists as all my shit is being held hostage by 3 large Russian dudes in a truck. I should be back hopefully next week, but you know what? The world is a crazy, wild place. I use she, her, and hers pronouns. Some of those, and so does my character. And I will pass it down. If you could see me pointing, I'd be pointing in all directions at once because I don't exist. So I will just say I'll pass it to Sam.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Sam. I play Eddic Sharmuza, and we both use he, him, his pronouns. As does my boyfriend Demon Byron. And I will point this way to Sarah.
I am the Sarah. I am also human, not robot, much like Rachel. My pronouns are she, her, hers, as are Din's, and I will pass it to Tyler.
Hi, y'all. I'm Tyler. He, him, his, and I play Anders and Company. Also, he, him, his. Back to you, Elise.
Thanks, Tyler. Did anyone send Sarah a CAPTCHA code today to make sure she was human? I think we forgot. Damn it.
Which
all right.
one of these images in front of you has a stoplight in them, Sarah?
That one.
Oh, then we all just
Okay,
like,
all right,
hold up.
poem.
Yes, poem. Why don't you read it, Sam?
Yeah, the last shopping session was a great success. Never mind the little whoopsie mind stress. It's totally fine because Alfie has a new rat friend. The talent of this group and joy of this story will never end. As always, thank you, Spire Crew, for being the gems that you are and for all that you do. Much love I can see and hear you. Okay, all right. So Chelsea, here's the thing. These last 2 poems you've done have been amazing. I've loved the meter. I've loved the wit. You know, I thought they weren't going to get any better after the 12 Days of Spire, but I've been proven wrong. The 12 Days of Spire was nevertheless astounding. But yeah. Anyway, back to you, Elise.
Thanks, Sam. Now the weather, Rachel. Anyone with a
It's sunny
sports
out.
update? Oh, thanks. The Rockies play tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed
Dark
to talk
here.
about that. Come on.
We're
The
East
Yeah,
Coast
we-
Baltimore
correspondent.
Orioles hit it through a
Darkness
no-hitter
isn't
this
weather,
week.
Sarah.
Oh my God, we're never gonna get through. Okay.
We didn't send the caption
The
code.
weather. It's nighttime now.
We didn't send a captcha code, and now look
There's
what
your
happened.
weather report.
Anybody with what's that wonderful podcast where the weather is just a funky song?
Night
Oh,
Vale.
welcome to
Night Vale.
Night
Welcome
Vale.
to Night Vale.
No, we're
yeah.
gonna invite me up. Yep.
Yeah. Welcome. Now it's time for the weather, and it's just a song. I love that so much. Okay, let's keep going. Somehow we're gonna get through this. I need stress levels from folks. We're gonna need a recap, and we're gonna need Sam and Rachel to claim a new expertise or mastery thing for their special skills for that. Am I missing anything else? Oh, Tyler, are you missing anything else as the new GM of Spire?
Oh golly. I think everybody needs a high advance.
Yes.
And
Okay.
yep.
Good thing I already have 4 picked out.
There was a dog break-in. I had to release dogs.
Okay, so let's start with just stress levels because that's easy. So everyone pull up your stress sheets, Anders, you are on top.
4 stress, 2 to shadow, and 2 to reputation.
Why we ask, because I would have had a higher amount for you. Alvi,
1 to silver.
Din,
I don't count it against like the ones that are covered by resistance. I don't count, right?
correct.
2 to silver.
Chu,
I have 4 stress, 2 to blood, and 2 to silver, and
That-
0 to mind. Thank you, random shopkeeper lady.
how many did she
Jeez.
take? She took 3 or 4?
She took.
Yeah, she took 3.
3. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, good. Edik,
3 all to mind.
excellent. Okay. Recap. What happened last time?
I have notes here that say shopping montage set to vacation. I bought a hot dagger.
I could do my part since I was alone for that part. So we went into the store and I had gone into the oddities section by myself. And there was a lot of weird things and I rolled some gritty, yeah, pretty great critical successes on compel to get really good deals. So I ended up getting like more than half off, I think. And I got a rat that eats curses, which I still need to name. A glass bottle that will open and close doors with the opening and closing its top. A goat husk that gets rid of ghosts. And a book in a dead language. And all it took was some moderate fallout on my part, where I will need to do something, to re-earn all of the silver that I spent. But that was my part.
Yes.
Oh, and the person that I was in there with doesn't really have great feelings about the person who runs the store because they think they're better than them. And they think they're high and mighty and that dark drow, lowly shit. And so I was able to play on that. So
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, I need a name for my alive rat that eats curses and my dead goat husk that gets rid of ghosts. So, we need to workshop that.
And then
Edic basically just totally did a C grade job of trying to swindle down the price of a suit of old rusted magical armor. But he bought it for what was it? Three silver? Something like that. I think it was 3.
I
Um
honestly don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll double check before.
yeah, so he's gonna take this old suit of armor and hopefully spruce it up a bit. Um yeah.
Yeah, and then Anders spoke with the Elfir in charge to basically try and eventually set up a more long-standing connection with her going forward. Um, because the plan is to introduce to one of myself's to try and swindle her and or work with her, I guess. It's a plan in progress.
And then Chu tried to talk with her and she was mean.
It's true. She was mean to a lot of people.
Yeah. And then Chu tried to dissolve a door after buying a grenade and accidentally shattered the mind of a poor, young, innocent, totally compliant in the mean, horrible things that they were doing, but still kind of didn't deserve it, bystander shop lady.
Yes, so that is where we will pick up is with Galena, who is the shop owner that most of you were talking to. The She and Anders were kind of hanging back to have a private conversation about the potential of these associates of Anders who would potentially be able to bring her things, procure goods for her shop. And the rest of you had stepped out into a hallway as Chu siphoned off mind stress into um, into Galena's shopkeeper assistant girl's mind. And I don't think y'all ever found out her name, this girl, and she has basically collapsed under this mind stress that she has taken. She is not quite dead, but she is very close, very unhappy, and you have maybe 45 seconds
Is it
before
while I'm still in there with her, or have
you were on your way out as well. Like you had finished, you were saying that kind of business had concluded in both groups, stepping out into the hallway, and then the shopkeeper girl goes down with the mind stress.
run back and try and see if I could fix her?
Okay.
She was just gonna be like, "Oh no," and then just begin walking
Oh
away.
wait, Sam and I need to pick our
Yes,
thing.
thank you.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Yeah.
I've literally just been racking my brain for what the heck I could pick
I'm
up.
gonna go with fix because that would be. I knew that we
Yeah.
ended off with her collapsing. Like I'm not trying to metagame this. So
Oh yeah,
Is
for
that-
sure.
yeah.
No, that's okay.
last time I had compel. So
Fix specifically to heal people.
yes.
Um Elise, where would
Yes.
you put wanting to distract? Would you put that under deceive?
Yes, I guess it could kind of go under a variety of things. I think it could go compel, deceive, or sneak, depending on kind of how you play what the distraction is. So, like, if the distraction is meant to be one that you are kind of like, you personally are getting up in someone's space to kind of keep their attention or whatever, like, I think that's more kind of compel or deceived, maybe depending on how you play it. Sneak would kind of be like if you're trying to like set something up somewhere else to like make a distraction go off in the distance to like get people's attention to move. That might be more sneak.
I think I'm gonna go with sneak for my knack, and I guess sneak and now my mind is in a different place. Sneak when I'm trying to seek favors from demons.
Okay. So I would say that typically that doesn't fall under sneak already. So it's like that would be almost be more like the intent of your action. So like I would say
Which is where I'm going, and I'm like, well,
like sneak to cover up something, sneak to make a distraction, sneak to hide. Like those would be knacks within sneak. So like if you know what you would be asking,
sneak to to covertly use occult magic.
yeah, I would definitely take that as a knack. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you have stepped out in the hallway. This girl goes down. She says, oops, and kind of keeps walking. Alvy rushes over to try and fix. Alvy, I would say that I would need some sort of justification besides just fix. Like, do you have materials? Do you have something that would, like kind of work to, because mind
Well,
stresses.
so I do have a body full of bees. And I have a body full of bees that regularly heals my mind stress.
Okay.
So could it be that through my relationship with them and how we talk at the end of every night before we go to bed, if I've kind of learned a bit about how they heal my mind stress, and while they can't do it for her, I can try and utilize some of the things that are within my power to kind of
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
with her.
Okay. I love this.
I love
And
that
The
I,
Alvy's
bees could
like-
also be a really good distraction / cover up for what happened.
Alvy's just like, bees calm me down when they swarm my body. How about you?
how about
Woman
you?
who's had
Can
her
I just
mind
Okay.
shattered.
Here's what I'll
Do you
say.
feel better now?
I love this, and here's what I want. Okay, I will give you. This is an occult domain because you are using the bees. Fix skill with your knack, so you do get 4d10 on
I don't
this.
have fix, so I would only have 3.
Okay,
Right? Because I don't have fix, so
correct.
I only
That is correct.
so it gives me basically a die
Yes.
for fix that
I'm
I
also
wouldn't have
going
had
to
before.
say, because this is your first time attempting to get the bees to influence
Difficulty?
someone else, you're doing this at difficulty 1. However, with a success, I would say that this is a skill Alvy can kind of take, as you will always have to roll. But you won't, it's still a fixed roll, so you don't have, that domain or anything or that skill. However, you could do this going forward to heal other people of mind stress. So let's see the roll. It'll be 3d6 10 6 10
Oh,
at difficulty 1, so it's -1 out of. Oh, I think that bumps you.
it does. It bumps me
It
down
bumps
to a
you into a
fail.
failure. Oh no. Okay.
But you still released the bees, right?
No,
No, tried to
Oh.
influence the
The bees is an
bees.
attack
Release the
thing.
bee. Yeah, a different thing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and roll stress, and you're going to take mind stress as well, trying to influence the bees. They don't get it. They try their best,
They need
and
to help me. My bee. Fine.
it's rolling. Hang on. Okay. Because I always roll ones for everybody except Tyler, go ahead and take your 1 mind stress, I guess. Do you
Call
have
out last time,
Yeah. Do you have
mine? No, I have so many resistances. I'm
Okay.
still at 1 stress.
Okay, and the bees unfortunately do not successfully. You are now down to maybe 15 seconds before Galena is going to come out into this hallway.
Can I drag her back into the room
Yes.
at the oddities?
Yeah, and you've got other people around you, so
No, I want to be in alone. I would be like, "Oh yes, we're still shopping. I want to buy more." And then I'm
well, I mean,
drag
for
her back
the
into the room.
physical act of dragging her
Oh
in.
yeah. Be
Yes.
like, "I'm gonna buy so many more."
Yeah.
Don't husk.
Did we have a chance to respond to
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
scream? Because what I wanted to do was I want Byron to lock all of the doors from the outside.
Okay. Chu did destroy the door that Anders and Galena are behind. So this could lock the door that Alvy has now dragged the body behind. or the doors, like other doors in the building, but the door to the room that
The
Galena was
hall.
in, it has is crumbling, is being destroyed as you speak because of Choose Spell.
Okay. Yeah, I guess lock whatever doors he can that would be getting in the way, if there are any.
Getting in the way, like to prevent Galena from seeing.
Yeah, from getting where she wants to go.
Okay. And Alvi,
Armor
are you
saving.
going into the room with the shopkeep girl? Or are you staying out in the hallway? Rachel, that's you. Hey,
Go.
are you, if Sam is, Edic is going to attempt to lock all the doors, are you going,
Does he communicate this with Alvi though?
There's no
Wow.
way to communicate this with Alvi.
okay,
Then I won't know that you're going to lock
Great.
all the
So
doors. So I'm
Alvi-
going to try my own thing. Like,
Alvi drags the body into the room, closes the door so that it can't be
Mhm.
seen, so that you can presumably be shopping.
Mhm.
And Edic, go ahead and roll. This is going to be Beseech Demon roll.
Alvi just panics under pressure, and so it's just
Yeah,
very
no,
much
I think
like,
that's
okay,
that's
I need
great.
to
I
do
just
this.
wanted to make sure that I knew where people were.
Yeah.
What do I have to roll when beseeching demon? Roll compel plus occult.
Compel and occult, yeah.
Okay. And this is what I'm trying to do stealthily, such that she doesn't recognize that I'm doing it.
Okay. Interesting. So it wouldn't be a sneak skill in the first place, but to do so stealthily,
Yeah, like I
yeah,
don't want her to see that
to
Byron
know
is
that
doing
this has
this.
happened because of. Okay. Start with your sneak roll. And no matter what happens on the sneak roll, we'll still follow up with the beseech, I think, because you would.
Okay, well that's successes.
That's a success at a cost, so you do take stress for this. So let's.
But I think it goes to my relationship with Byron.
You didn't
If
beseech demon yet.
performing
This
this
is
spell
on the sneak.
successfully allows you to summon favors, it is essential.
So that's true of your beseech roll, but not of the sneak roll is a separate thing, right? So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
this is the consequence of yeah. So that is 3. So I think that where we'll put this is
Okay, I did not think this through. All right. Well, we're at 6 stress now.
Well, we have to
Oh,
decide where
God.
that's going. I want to put 2 of those to shadow.
Okay, I have 2 resistances to shadow.
Okay, and 1 of them to mind.
All right, we are at 4 mind stress.
Okay, I will roll Fallout.
Ugh.
That's a 5. You're safe.
Hey.
Now go ahead and roll Beseech Demon.
Okay. All right, so it's going to be so I'm getting the beseech demon stuff. I also now get to the sneak because
It's not a
It
sneak roll. It's
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
occult and compel.
All right, so this is going to be 3d10.
Okay,
All right, so
that's an
I think
8.
we've got
Yeah.
success, no stress.
Full success. Yeah. So you hear the lock on the door that is crumbling behind you. It does click. And but the door, as you know, is just disintegrating as everybody is watching. And where you have just seen Alvi drag the body, you hear that lock click as well. And you just kind of hear Byron like snicker a little bit in your head, like this is great fun and good pranks. And kind of in that moment, Din, Chu, Alvi, well, and Edic, you turn around as the door kind of finishes crumbling, and I believe right as Galena was kind of noticing the door crumbling, she was just like, "Oh, that stupid token of the hungry deep is," she's been complaining about that thing rotting things in her store, like wanting to get rid of it. And she kind of steps over the threshold where like some of the scaffolding of the door is still in place, but all the wood has rotted out of it. And she kind of steps over that into the hallway, and looks around, and notices the closed door, and kind of raises an eyebrow. It's not unusual for people to shop behind closed doors in her shop. And so she just kind of looks, to the group of you, and kind of, I take it your friend has not yet finished her business. Good talk.
Blend?
Okay.
Who's blend?
Well, the one that I sent back to the oddities room. Okay.
She was like headed out the door. Like she was like waiting outside for everybody. Like she's just left. Like she's
Okay.
totally not here for it. Yeah. No drama for True today.
I followed drama
Okay.
causing Chew, who doesn't
I would
Okay.
never cause drama.
So Galena kind
Outside
of
of
like
the
just shrugs. She
performance?
doesn't really care, and she walks Eddic and Anders kind of out towards the front and says, "Well, I suppose you can wait here for your companion to finish her business, and I will be beginning my work on acquiring the items that we spoke of. I suppose I'll have to wait and see." And she kind of looks around, like judges by the position of the sky, like the sun in the sky, like what time of day it might be. And as she kind of does this, another person walks into the building. From their clothing and mask, this is a high elf. They have several kind of drow or humans, hard to tell because they're wearing masks, but they are servant masks, in their kind of wake. And she kind of sighs and says, "Yes, of course, our appointment. I apologize for having not being fully prepared for you." And she kind of gestures you out, and uh, begins to kind of talk to this high elf that she knows, and gestures him back into the shop.
Question: would any of us recognize the mask?
Nope, this is not a person known to you, or if it is, then you don't recognize the mask. And the group of you are now kind of, Alvi, what are you doing in the room?
So I basically want to look around to all of the oddities and things and whatever's around to see if I can find anything that might help me to fix her.
Okay, let me look at what was in the room.
I mean, I could scare away the ghosts near her with
Sure
my husk.
could.
Oh my gosh. This is literally like a Curb Your Enthusiasm thing. They're gonna walk in on you like looking through all the items with this like passed out lady.
Right. Just holding all the items like, I paid for these. Oh no.
I need
I'm
some fan
looking
art of
forward to
that, of the husk under your arm and the passed
rat
out
on my
woman.
shoulder.
Bees everywhere.
I need to scroll up and open up that thing too.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, besides the things that are, I mean, you could poison her and try to make it look like she committed suicide.
Oh,
You could hide her under the table because the tables are covered with, there's nothing on those tables, according to what she told you, is what I'm saying, that would heal
and
her.
I can't like investigate or see anything else around. That, like,
You can
might
roll
be helpful?
investigate. This would be investigate, and the domain would be commerce.
She's also not
I
dead,
have
right?
both
Like,
of those things.
Say what?
She's
The-
not dead.
she's
No,
not dead, right?
she's
Like
just-
the lady's,
She's almost dead.
but she's like fine. Like she's not gonna die if you like leave her there.
Okay, that is a 6.
Success, right?
That is a success. Here's what we'll say. As you are
How did I roll so
rummaging
badly?
and looking for things, you bump something under one of the tables, and hear this kind of like moaning, weird, like husky, like noise, and you're going to take some stress from disturbing something.
Cool, great.
An artifact of unknown type, and that's a 3. There we go. Now I'm rolling
Is it
3s for
mind
everybody.
stress?
3 mind stress.
I have no extra stress. I'm still
Okay.
at 1.
Still at 1. Lucky
But
all
I
that
am
mind stress
Full
is
on resistances now.
and you don't know what it is, but you do, as it kind of like moans and groans and like makes that weird noise. You kind of like, as you kind of scramble back from it because it is scary and causing you stress, you see the husk of the goat, the mummified goat husk, kind of shiver a little, and the thing subdues. And you do continue your search. What you find is a bottle of something that is marked. Should I? Let's see. It's marked as like a tonic for health, like a health tonic. You don't really know what it is, but in theory, that would heal people.
You're gonna turn her into a goat?
I mean, it's a better life. Okay. I'm super trusting of the things that I read.
A health tonic.
And I will pour the tonic in her mouth.
Okay.
And she turns into a llama.
Yeah,
I
as
take her
you
with
pour
me.
this tonic into her mouth, you hear the door click, 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 and you hear Galina's voice on the other side of it. How odd. They don't usually lock it well. And let me just go find the key. It's very
Interesting
unusual.
goat husk this is. I would gladly pay so much money for it.
And you finish kind of pouring this in. The girl does rouse. She doesn't look like necessarily she is very healthy or doing well. But she comes back to consciousness, and kind of coughs a little bit and sits up and is just like, oh my God, what even I feel
I don't know what happened, but you fainted and you screamed and I dragged
my
you in here
head,
and I fed you a tonic.
every time you
I,
say a word, it feels like my head will split in half.
so I'm gonna go, but I just wanted to make sure we
What
were okay
are we?
before.
I'm uh,
We're okay.
okay. She just
Yes,
seems
we're okay.
confused. Yeah, and you can attempt now to leave.
Yeah, so it's locked, right?
It is, but it locked from the inside, which was specifically Edic's request, so could just unlock it.
Okay, I was gonna say because I have my freaking bottle too.
You do have
so
your bottle, but you don't need to use it. You can just unlock it. So from the inside.
But it's fine. I'll just unlock it and leave.
Yeah, we're saying this is one of those locks that you can just manually twist.
Right. I'll just do it and I'll hold up my things as I walk out and it'd be like, great store.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Galina is fortunately for you going to fetch the key, which is lucky that Edic did in fact do something that would distract her. And so you just see like the other high elf and his like two drow like associates or human whoever associates kind of just looking at you a little oddly. And from behind you, you hear the shopkeeper girl going like, "What's happening?" And you're just like power walking out of the store. Okay, and the group of you are now on the streets walking away from Galina Roses and Blooms store.
How am I carrying a suit of armor?
Galina did wrap it for you in some cloth, kind of folded up onto itself, so it's not very. It's wrapped up in like shopping parcel materials, but it is still bulky and awkward to carry.
I think like Edic doesn't want to have to carry this around all day. That would just cramp his style. You all must excuse me, for I must place this somewhere safe. And he's gonna go ahead and make use of his trapdoor and deposit the suit of armor somewhere that he can find it within the Vermisian.
Okay. You pop, you look around, scan for it, find your back door. I would like you to roll a d10 luck die for.
Okay, but before I do that, to open a back door, I also have to roll occult plus
Oh,
resist.
okay.
So let me do that first, and
My bad.
then
I thought that was just something you could.
oh, I don't have resist, so this is just 2d10.
Those are d12s.
Is that the right kind of die?
No, those are
No.
12s.
All right, hold on.
Good for you.
Motherfucker.
Bad for you. Okay, you are looking for a back door, and for whatever reason, the Vermisian is eluding you right now. We're stacking up the stress. Oh, that's a 3. So you can go ahead and mark 3. Does it say what type of stress you take if you fail? I think this
No, it
makes
just
sense.
says once per session you can find an entrance no matter where. Roll occult plus resist.
Are you at 7 stress now?
I'm at 7 stress now.
Damn.
We need to not take any risks tonight because
I totally forgot that
Really?
I had to roll at all for this.
Mm-hmm. I know, I forget too.
I'm not happy about any of this.
You're not allowed to talk, Tyler.
Okay.
No. You
Mr.
don't have
Risk
to roll for
Taker.
this. That is okay. Listen, you get to just open it. Any non-sage character who enters the vault rolls
Oh,
resist
right.
and plus occult to avoid taking mind stress.
Oh, okay. So that
I was
didn't
like,
matter.
I thought you didn't have to. Yeah, so you don't take those 3 stress.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I just added 3 stress to mind because I was like, I'm just gonna die. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and
so
roll
I
that
find this.
luck die for me.
Yeah, you wanted just 1d10?
1d10 for now.
Oh no.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm using my ability to re-roll this.
Okay. Okay.
Worth it.
Yeah, Edic, you
Worth it.
You come out through the door directly into a place that you've been once before in the Vermisian, and it is that hub of where all the tunnels from Saren's network of tunnels gathers. And
So like that atrium, okay.
yes, it's almost like an atrium. It's like the warp zone in Mario. You know, you've got like all your little lined up tubes that you can hop in to like get to other parts of. And when you do this, you emerge, and I need you to not do anything else right now because we have to jump back to the other group before I can tell you what you find. So the rest of you are heading where? Power walking away from Galina's
walking.
towards.
Walking.
Just anything, just walking away.
How far away are we from New Heaven?
You would have to
Yeah,
get on a
what were
sky
we
whale.
doing?
You could look for a sky whale. You could look for an entrance to, find Gutterkin to lead you somewhere.
Mhm.
Those would kind of be your
Weren't we
2
on our
travel
way
options.
somewhere?
What?
Weren't we on our way somewhere? Like we were headed to do something.
I thought we were just shopping, but
We were shopping originally to get this winter sword for me, and then we all went shopping trip. But we were trying to eventually get the information on whoever the Elfir was by having me disguise myself as an Elfir, and then going to wherever I needed to go to wherever they keep the records.
Okay.
Knowles, that's what it is.
Yeah. So where would you be
Yes.
going right now, though? Because that would be after Anders gets his new disguise. So it's not something you can do right away. Would y'all want to head back to Perch? Would you want to head to New Heaven right away? Like where, or are you just going for a sky whale? Like what's the exit strategy?
Good
I mean, we
question.
definitely want to get away from the vicinity of the shop very quickly. So let's say that we're deciding any of this.
You're walking and talking.
Yeah, walking and
walking
talking.
and talking.
Okay. So right now, just kind of directionless going.
Mhm.
Okay.
How long does it take me to catch up?
Not too long. I would say, did the group wait at all for Alvi, or did you just?
I'd be
Did you?
waiting.
Okay.
I would definitely not want to leave
Thank you.
Alvi
Okay. All right.
like
The group
out
waited for
on
you,
her
maybe
She
like
was
lonesome.
waiting
a
nearby.
little around a
Yeah.
corner just to make sure you knew where to find them.
I just
Yeah.
walk out like with a bundle of
Yeah,
things.
a bundle of things. Okay, and then Edic would, said like, I have to go, I'll be right back, and pops out into the vermisian. All right, so y'all are walking.
I do have somewhere that I want to go, if we could, because the lovely person in there before they suffered so much. And I just kind of very quickly glance at you and then glance away. And will say,
She's fine. She didn't
Oh,
even die, probably.
it's true. I put a random tonic in her mouth, and she came to. So that's
Yeah,
Right.
that's
something.
promising.
So I bought these things. This is Sven, and that's my rat.
Excellent.
And so with Sven, I would really like to have a little leash and collar so that he doesn't just run away. And she directed me to a lovely leather worker that could give me some great deals. And also, this is Aurelia. This is my goat husk. It chases away ghosts. And actually, it saved me from a mummy in there. It was rather terrifying. I still am shaking over it.
What are you gonna do with that? Like, are you gonna chase away the ghosts that you have in your home?
Oh no, this
Um,
Aurelia will have to have a separate place to stay, maybe.
As this is happening, who is proficient in or skilled in sneak or pursue?
I have sneak.
Me.
I'm
Pretty
I'm
sure
from
I've
this
seen
area.
it.
Can I give mastery to whoever rolls?
No. You're not gonna make a roll. I just need to know who's proficient. So Din has sneak.
Mhm.
Okay. Din, as this is happening.
Yeah, it's just in.
Okay, and you're kind of winding your ways through the streets, and Alvi is talking about her things that you begin to feel quite sure that you are being followed. And you so you kind of get that hair on the back of your neck raising sensation that someone is following you.
Oh,
Okay, so I reach into my pocket and pull out a length of rope,
Mhm.
and I turn toward Alvi and I say, "You don't need a collar. We have collar and a leash all in one right here." And I angle it, and as I get a little closer, I whisper, "Being followed. We
Immediately
shouldn't go
it's-
to."
Okay.
I just
Yes.
I just, oh my god.
So you look around,
Sorry.
and you do notice a strange figure kind of lurking in the shadows, Alvi, at this. And it's odd because they're wearing this long dark coat. They do also have like a wide brimmed hat on that keeps the sun off, as many drow residents of these areas do. But the coat looks maybe like something that you lost out of your closet like a couple months ago. Like
Me?
that, yeah, like maybe that was your coat once. Like I think I had a coat like that and I think it went missing. The arms of the coat seem
And
to have
stole my
been
coat.
the arms of the coat seem to have been cut off at the shoulders. The shoulders have been sewn together and the sleeves have been oh my god, y'all are just laughing, making me laugh so much. The sleeves have been reattached on the sides but cut short, and there are little hands poking out through them. And as
Three
you
kids stacked on top of each other.
as you like get offended about the coat, the person kind of moves awkwardly out of the shadows. It's
The hand?
Lola. It's
Oh.
Lola.
Oh,
And Lola
That's cute.
is in your coat and a hat. And presumably on top of another goat. Because
Yeah.
you've never seen Lola
And
look quite
I'm
so
just
tall.
gonna lean over to Din and just go, It's Lola. Act
my God,
cool.
I get like awkward and stiff because again, me and the goats, and I'm just like entranced. And then I'm also like eyeing up the goat under her arm because I'm interested.
Aurelia.
Scared.
Aurelia.
Aurelia, that's the name.
Yeah, Lola, presumably stacked on top of another goat, approaches, and in fact, you can see little goat fingers holding the coat closed a little lower down, because this is another
To
hand
me
goat.
too.
The fingers disappear inside, and Lola kind of bows at you. You've never met any of Lola's associates. They are very secretive, and Lola
Associates.
digs around in a pocket. It's very awkward because her arms are very short and her hands don't
Lola,
quite
if
reach.
you needed clothing, you should have just asked. You didn't need to steal.
She bleats at you again and pulls out a tiny little folded note and kind of gestures it out towards you with her little tiny T-Rex arms.
And I take
now.
it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of scritch under her chin.
Okay, and let me put a note in your inventory.
Yeah.
Okay, show to everyone. Can you see it on your screen?
Oh, yes.
Rachel, would you like to read it for folks at home who maybe can't see how small that is?
It says, "Seems you need my help. Good thing I need yours too. Didn't I already invite you to tea? Waiting in the hub. Join me." Do I know where the hub is? Is that like the hub of the Vermisian or?
Yeah, so the hub doesn't ring a bell, much like the first time that you got a note from this person.
Yeah.
You
They seem
were
very
like,
familiar, but I don't actually have any familiarity
right.
with them, right?
They seem to know or think that you know these things. And you don't. However,
Lola, could you lead me to this person?
Lola kind of bleats again and turns around, and you see like the little arm and the sewn like sleeve just kind of do like a circle, and presumably gesturing for you to follow.
So I think we might have a friend. There was I don't know if you remember when we all were first meeting up about this business. I got a note about going to tea and about something to do with, oh, hold on, I have it here. Something to do with demonic activity. So but I had no idea who it was or where it came from, so I couldn't actually go meet them, but they seem very familiar. Anyway, if you would like to, I'm going to follow Lola. You're welcome to join me, but if you would rather do other things with your time, that's fine, but I think this is going to be useful. And I'm going to follow Lola. I'm also going to take the rope that Din had in front of me.
And now I take out a little tiny notebook and I start following and like taking little notes about the goat.
Goat notes.
Goat notes.
Anders, Chu, are you following as well?
Anders is gonna follow very cautiously.
Yeah, she was curious.
Okay. So you follow Lola. Lola
Sarah.
gets. Did I say Sarah? Sorry.
No,
I've been saying all of
Sarah.
your like actual names.
No, you said Lola. You're good.
Okay.
I wrote a thing in the chat.
Oh, okay. I need notes. Okay. Yeah. So you follow Lola, and when you get to the kind of entry to the Vermisian, you see some of those same dusty footprints that were on your desk, Alvi, in the entryway. And Lola and presumably her other goat companion kind of had like gesture for you to follow the tracks, and they disappear down a different corridor. And as you do kind of start following these little tracks, a cat, Khaat, creature
Cat.
you
Okay.
have never met before, none of you, I believe, have ever seen before, emerges from the depths of the Vermisian. And you see it is like a cat, but it is kind of like one of those stylized, like extremely elegantly arched, like all of its angles and all of its things. Like there are no harsh angles. That everything is weirdly curved. Its eyes are like big and glowing. Its ears are kind of like rounded and laying back a little bit. And it kind of makes a meow at you and turns in a circle and starts to just walk down a pathway that you've never like. It's a pathway unlike anything you've seen in the Vermisian before, which is unusual for you. And
I'm gonna say, these are the footprints that I saw when the original note was left. I think we need to follow this cat. And my eyes are like super wide, like they're
Yeah.
taking up like the entire top half of my face.
okay,
And I
then-
make sure the rope is tied nicely around Sven.
excellent. Yeah, so let's jump down to Edik. Edik, as you
Good, because I really need to pee.
as you enter into the hub, and you know, you've got your armor tucked up under your arm, ready to go back. Just so lucky to have fallen right here where it can get you anywhere you want to go in the Vermisian so easily. You kind of make your way towards the center of the hub and you see a figure standing in the middle of the hub. They are kind of stout of stature, and they're wearing just like so like piled on cloaks, clothes, furs, and then the top layer is this heavy, really heavy, like leather from a beast that you could not say what it was. It is nothing Edik has ever come across before. And they're kind of weirdly dusty. There seems to be dust like on their shoulders and on the floor around them. And even when they kind of like shake their head and like brush some dust off, more dust just kind of seems to fill in the space where the dust has fallen. And their hat is kind of pointed but slouches over. It's made of kind of like stitched together canvas and leather patches. And it covers half of their face. But as they kind of hear your footsteps approaching, you hear them kind of like, Alvi. And they turn around and they see that it's not Alvi. And they see you instead. And they kind of like sigh and they're like, the one with the demon. You know that you can't take that thing with you when we go, right?
Excusez-moi?
You can't take that thing with it's got to stay. I know I've heard it 100 times, but if you take it where we're going, there's just too much potential for, and this person just kind of mimes like an explosion or something.
Is there I know we always ask this and I never remember what the result is, but I need to do like the equivalent of an insight check that's not going to incur stress upon me because I can't handle it right now.
They actually, this person kind of like takes a look at you and like looks at the like look of surprise and confusion and like your excuse me kind of reaction. And they kind of like go, and they take some of this dust off of them and they blow it into your face, and you can take 3 mind stress off.
Yay.
And they're like, that you're looking a little like you were maybe hurting a little. And what you can see now is like this hat covers, you know, half of their face, but the skin is kind of rough and pockmarked as if they've been exposed to a lot of harsh weather. And the one eye that you can see, because again the hat covers the other, is kind of like crimson. Not like bloody necessarily, just like a bright kind of crimsony purple almost in its redness, like on that side of the red color scale. Like, and just kind of like staring at you. It's very bright, despite kind of all this weathering around the rest of their face. And they kind of look around expectantly and they're like, so Alvi's, I guess, probably the rest of the crew too, huh?
So right now in this moment, I think Edik is like bewildered, but also really frustrated because he's like, clearly the ministry is just being really cavalier with the fact that he has a fucking demon and is just telling everyone. But at the same time, he can't really do anything about it now because he already knows. Um, uh, 3 questions first. Who are you? How do you claim to know things about me? And where do you presume to take me?
They kind of give you another like appraising look. They're like, okay, all right. One of the linear ones I always forget. This must be the first time we've met. And they actually pull a monocle out of their bag and like hold it up and like examine you again. And now they're like looking over you again and they're like, what is it again that they measure time with up here? Is it years? You look like maybe you have a few less of those. I remember. Anyway, I know about the whole thing because you've told me about it. I guess just not yet. I don't. Such a. All right. Here we go. Hello. My name is Saren. I built this shit. And they gesture around them at the tunnels.
Thing that we found. The
y-
vocabulary, the language or whatever.
Yeah.
You say your name? You are Saren?
That's what I said. That's yep. Listen, we're going as soon as Alvy gets here. I sent oh my god, what should her cat's name be? I hadn't even thought of it. Quick, name the cat.
Ben.
Ben?
No, do not name him Sven. How dare you?
I
His name is
feel
Mittens.
Christoph.
Mittens Kristoff. It's hyphenated. I sent Mittens Kristoff after Alvy. I think they met up with Lola, and they're, they should. But we gotta go soon. Who do we
Who's
lose?
the GM now?
Tyler's,
still me.
Tyler.
Oh,
I just have to lean
computer
like
is
this.
shutting down for an
Oh,
update.
no.
So he'll be back soon.
Bless. Okay. And they use both they and she pronouns, which you can ask about, but for now, they is.
I think you already told us this actually.
Yes, you knew that. Previously, the information you recalled about Saren was that she used she, her pronouns. This person, again, you could ask their life story and find out more about this, but they kind of are like looking around and they've told you their name. I'm trying to remember where I was in anything.
They had just pulled out a monocle.
Mittens Kristoff, yes, we're examining you. And they say, well, the thing is, it'll be easier when Salvi gets here, but I need some help. You all need some help. So Alvy and I have this thing, or will have, or have, I don't know, had this thing where, mutually beneficial research type relationship.
Research, yes,
They're my future lovers.
If you're implying that we're lovers, you'll have to ask Alvy. It's complicated. I don't know.
Back in my
Yes,
day,
most
there were
things
only 2
these
genders.
are very complicated.
And then what was your third question? Where are you taking me? Well, first I'm taking you to wherever you can just put that thing down because like I said, bad news, boom. I know you hate it. We've talked about, trust me, I've heard every argument from you about it before, like 17 times. And trust me, I always win the arguments because the potential of things just going boom and it's a necklace and you're wearing it. And so if it goes boom, like your head is the one that splatters across a wall. Okay.
You have got me on the interesting day, Selen. But not only do I need to apparently deposit my necklace, but I also have this, which I really do not want to be taking with me everywhere because it was several pretty sten, and I would like to bring it to my shop and,
Well, if we have to make a stop, we can make a stop.
How necessary is it that I come with you then if Byron isn't allowed as well?
If you want to stay behind, you can stay behind. I need Alvy. I mean, between you and me, I like to think we've gotten to know each other over the 6 or 7 times we've met. I've met you.
None ever before. But
Yeah,
you are
I think
selling, which is a name that does not go without a lot of sway in my art.
it's up to you, kid. You wanna sit this one out? And they kind of pat your shoulder. You should sit this one
We
out then.
do stand about the same height, so
Yeah.
this would be possible.
And I'd say about this time is when Alvy and the rest of the crew roll up following a cot.
While
Mittens
we were
Kristoff.
walking,
Uh-huh.
sorry, while we were walking and following Mittens Kristoff, could I do reassuring whispers?
Yes. What
It's
does
just
that
a
do?
minute, basically just a minute where the bee, like a calm minute, like where not crazy stuff is happening, and the bees whisper in my ear and take away my mind stress.
Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
Walking and following the cat, I'm feeling pretty good about how everything's gone. I saved the shop person. I found Lola. I'm going to solve a mystery. I just feel like I'm real calm and cool. And so yeah, I roll a d6.
Okay, go for it.
Hey,
Nice.
I have all of my
That's a 5
resistances back
for
my
people
mind
who can't see
stress.
it.
Oh yeah, it's a 5. So
Okay.
I have all of my stuff free again, so I can take a lot of mind stress again. Just
Would you
figured
say
that was the same thing to do. What's
would
that?
you say this is a different situation than the shop?
Yes.
So
Okay,
we don't
cool,
have our
thanks.
abilities anymore.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
rather, I now have the ability to shunt off mind stress if I take it to some random passerby.
Yeah, so anything that resets on situation would be resetting now, which includes something like if you wanted to have your ancestral things again, Edic would have to go through the ceremony again, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you all kind of roll up, you see Edic standing here, still with the parcel of armor.
And
Oh.
upon seeing Alvy, Edic is just gonna like skip over. Alfie,
What? What is it?
The person over there, it's Selen. Also, apparently, you already know them.
I don't. I
Well,
literally
they keep
gasped.
saying that they have a relationship with you. You are lovers. They
Alvy blushes like full deep, like whole like.
I didn't
Well,
say
and excuse me, you have been holding out on me all this time.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well, this is very interesting. I guess for you, this is maybe hi. I'm Sarah, and I didn't say we were lovers. I said it was complicated.
It
I'm
was
Alvy.
strongly implied.
You can
How does
listen. The more we try and make things linear, the more my head stops spinning, and I can't handle that. So let's just all skip to the part where we accept that I've met you, but you haven't met me.
me? If you know me, you know that not asking questions is not something I'm good
Oh,
at.
Alvy, I was counting on it. And they kind of reach up and pat your cheek, not too dissimilarly to how they've reached over and patted Edic on the shoulder a few minutes ago. And they say, in fact, I was rather hoping you might want to ask a few questions yourself because, come on, let's walk and talk. And then they pause and they kind of point a finger over at Edic. I'm going to be Anders for a minute because it's easier to lean this way. Okay. They point a finger over at Edic and they say, "What's it gonna be, kid? You dropping off the boyfriend and coming with, or you?"
Oh, you know this too. Okay.
You have a boyfriend?
I think didn't you say it? Didn't you say?
Oh, I don't know if we remembered
Oh,
and
wait.
actually mentioned
No, I
You
don't
said
think
that
I've ever
out of
said
character.
it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
You said that
Wait,
out of
where-
character, and for some reason, I was thinking you said it in character.
I don't think that
Um,
he's ever shared that with him. Sorry,
Okay,
Ava.
then they will say the necklace instead of the boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
We're all
Oh,
there.
well, I mean,
right?
if they
Yes, you
were
are all
saying
there.
it, I'm happy with that being the reveal, but like, you
Yeah,
know.
no, Alvy's gonna turn and be like, "You have a boyfriend with you? Who's hiding things from whom now, sir?"
Oh my god, I
mean,
didn't want this to happen at
It
all.
has been here all along. And and then he's gonna kind of under his breath, like lean over to say, "Okay, I will depart with my necklace and with the suit of armor, and then we can go."
Great. And Ava, was there something she wanted to do?
She wants to kind of sneak up and be like, what did Albie say about us? What about me? Since you seem to know us.
Oh, Alvy. Alvy said a lot about you, but you've also just told me things about you. Here's what I know about you. You're a hard one to read. And then they turn and they look at Anders. And they again pull out the monocle and like get real close and kind of examine over. And they poke your cheek right on where your like implants are.
Oh god.
And they're like,
Yep.
okay, it's another one of you, and another pat on the cheek. And which one is this? And they look at Alvy and they're like, which one is this? I love it. It's such a cool trick.
Best NPC.
Has Helene
need
been replaced?
Saren to end up becoming my lover for this.
Helene is
need
out.
this to happen.
It's such a good NPC.
I remember back when we were just coming up with a random name for this person.
Yeah. And so they're pumped.
You're just regular Anders right now, aren't you? Or
I am regular Anders.
okay. I'm like, oh,
Just-
this is just him in the normalness.
Oh.
This is his standard look.
Oh.
I'm sorry. What's happening? Why am I being examined?
They hand
This
over
I
the.
wrote an amazing directory within the vault. That's all I know. There's they're phenomenally smart, and apparently we know each other possibly in the future. I think we just at the time it's
Alvy.
linear, and I don't really know how to
Alvy.
Anders,
compartmentalize
you
that.
have to
let's
be
walk and
aware
talk.
of
Come on.
selling.
They start ushering all of you forward and towards one of the, like, they know their way around this area so well. And as they kind of do, they point you in the direction that will get you to Edic's house kind of quickly, so that Edic can drop things off. And they kind of wait next to it, and they're like, "So, do you want me to send you with Mittens? What is it, Mittens? Kristoff, or do you want us all to go with you? Because we can also just meet back here once you've dropped everything off at the house."
Wait, we have to leave and come back?
No, just Edic can't take the, boom, bad news. Heads exploding, brains on walls. He don't want it, trust me. We've already argued about it 8 times.
I don't understand at all what's going on.
You know what? Din does. Din always gets me, right, Din? How are the goats? How are the goats?
Oh my god, have you seen, do you know Aurelia?
Oh my god, get that thing away from me. Send it with Edic, I can't.
No, I just bought this baby.
Okay.
Tyler, what was your question?
My question was, do we know where we're going, or has this all been like mystery fuel?
So far, no.
I have no idea.
Nope.
Yeah, no, Alvy's just excited.
Great.
Alvy's
As
like,
long as everyone's as
somebody
lost as I
wants
am.
me there. Somebody's inviting me somewhere special. Let's do this.
I think Chu's definitely just enjoying the chaos that isn't emanating from her for once.
So yeah, the option here is for Edic to go by himself with the cat to guide you back to the group, or for everybody to go with Edic while you drop things off and then go together from Edic's place to wherever Saren wants to take you.
Chu is like, I'm staying with this this person. I like them.
They're asking Eddic what he would prefer, giving you the chance to not have everybody crash your house, essentially.
I mean, Selen, you know it's very hard for people to actually get into my place. But they are welcome to try.
All right, I love it. Into the vaults, and kind of shoves you first, and then ushers everybody through, the cat kind of leading the way. And I presume you all kind of follow along.
What's the cat's name? Can I just
Oh,
know?
Mittens Kristoff.
I never would have guessed that. Okay,
That's
thank
the
you.
idea.
Can we
Unpredictable.
buy him a little bowler hat, maybe? Or is that too much? Maybe a
Too
newsboy
gauche.
cap?
There's like a pause where they are silent and staring at the cat in a way that makes you think maybe they are talking silently to the cat. And
Perhaps a
end,
beanie?
at the end of this, they're like, yes. Yeah. In fact, that explains a lot about why you were talking about bowler hats last time. Okay, I get it now. And you,
What's happening? But I'm very excited.
So lost.
Oh, Tyler, I think you missed the part where this person, we have met them before in a different timeline. Like they somehow jump around in time.
Tyler's
So
like,
this
no!
is our first time meeting them, but they know us well. And
It's
apparently
like the
I have a
Doctor and
very
River
strong
song.
relationship with them. That is what you missed. This is our first time meeting them, but they've met us multiple times before,
great.
but out of time.
I'm so sorry.
wonderful.
I forgot
Yeah.
that, like, because everybody's confused.
I like you were like,
so I was
"What
like,
is
yeah, Tyler's
happening?"
confused, but I forgot you were confused because you weren't here for a bit of this.
Sure.
I apologize.
Oh, you're good. You're good. This
All
is
right.
great.
Yeah, you all head to Eddic's, where Eddic, would you like to describe a little bit about your humble abode?
So we arrive at like the kind of like approaching the top level of like, your standard flat complex in, well, I guess we are in Purge. So yeah. And Eric will turn to the party and say, well, actually he'll say, Selen, you stay with me. We are going to play a little game. And Eric is going to say, whoever gets to my apartment first wins this. And he holds up two like 2 gold pieces. Like what would be like 2 silver stress worth of gold.
Are you gonna take more stress, sir?
And then he I'm back down to 1. Doesn't matter.
Oh, when did you unstress
when
Saren.
Saren blew
Saren.
their dust particles on me,
I was
recovered.
peeing because I don't
Yeah.
remember this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I was like, are you
I'm-
gonna go to 9 stress for this bet? Like, so I
I'm
missed
down
that
to
part
1.
because I had
Yeah,
to pee.
so
Okay, thank you.
so
I'm
he
sorry,
offers it and says,
blew
whoever
particles?
gets up to my apartment first wins. And I will immediately go 3, 2, 1, go. And then
Is it a puzzle? Do we have to figure out a puzzle? Is
Yes.
there?
Some stairs, right?
I mean, my
Is it just
apartment's it's at the top. You just
Is
gotta
it
go.
just a race?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to win that, so I'll just walk.
Is anyone else going?
I'm gonna
Rao
walk.
could do the trick here, but I mean, Anders needs money. Anders is going to be in debt, so Anders
Alfie
will be
needs money
trying.
too, notably. She's got
She does, but also I don't think that cardio is her strength.
fair.
So like I think she looks at like Din and Anders and other people that are strong and it's just like I'm not going to. She's doing the math in her head and it's like I'm not winning this one, so I'm just going to walk.
So Din
We're
and Chu,
close
are
to-
you charging up with
We're so
Anders?
close to what's their name? The NPC.
Saren.
Saren.
Yeah, we're still close to them, right?
Yeah, they're with you.
Yeah, I told him to. I told them to stay by and watch with me.
Yeah, then I'll probably just immediately like turn to Sarah and I'm like, so tell me more about like Alvy. Give me all the secrets. Give me
I think
everything you have.
there's a game afoot. I need to see the. And they kind of
Dama,
shoot
you
you
can
towards
look
the
and
stairs.
talk. Come on. I'm not going up those stairs. There's something
Sounds
much
like
more
work.
interesting. There's a much more interesting game happening right here.
They like shrug at you and watch Anders and Alvy, who is quietly walking behind Anders.
Chew wants so badly to get information, and
Yeah,
Sarah is just like not having it.
So like Edic is gonna like look over like begrudgingly at you and be like, fine, you can stay with me, but this is mostly so I can, I mean, this is basically all so Edic can show off to Saren. So what the three people that ran up the stairs don't see, but
Walk.
what Saren, Chew, and I do see is you're gonna see me walk up 2 steps, knock on the stone, and then the wall like crumbles away, and that's actually my abode.
As
Meanwhile,
if it was a puzzle.
the three of you are in an endless loop running up the stairs that have no end.
I am
Um,
walking.
Yeah, you're walking. Um, and eventually, because you're walking, you will notice that Anders and Din have lapped you.
I don't think these stairs are correct. Did you?
Um,
I didn't somehow get ahead of you. Okay.
and I will deposit my necklace, giving it a little kiss, and
Is Byron there?
at my apartment, always, yeah.
Yeah. I think as Byron kind of hears you come in, kind of pokes his head around the corner, sees Saren, gives like the mightiest of eye rolls, and is like, "All right, okay, if that's how it's gonna be, have fun, don't die." Um, as if Byron is familiar with Saren, and your occasional antics where you have to leave your necklace.
Oh.
We will talk about this later, Byron. I promise. And he's gonna just kind of like station the big suit of armor and be like, and I'm gonna hand Byron a note of instructions.
Okay.
And I will entrust this unto you. After all, it is for you.
Oh.
And I will step out.
Okay. As you're stepping out, he kind of grabs your arm and like leads you over to the window and points out to where Anders laps Alvy one more time and is like, "I love this. It's great."
He is definitely looking like now is like checking the walls and steps for things. Like is just trying to find the trick now.
And as like as I leave my stuff and head out, like you all will arrive at the ground floor where you all started somehow. And I'll be like, oh no, looks like I made it to the top first. Oh, it's mine anyway.
And
Well, come
Saren,
back here and I will figure out this trick.
Oh,
I hate demons.
You will, Elvie.
Saren pats Chew on the shoulder. Now having completed all the pats on all the people, I believe everyone has gotten a pat now. Pats Chew on the shoulder and says, "All right, now I'll talk to you about Alvy." And that's where we will take a break. So let's take 10 minutes. And we will come back to see what mystery awaits with Saren. And yeah, see you in 10 minutes. Manage your liquids and that kind of stuff. Fluids.
Liquid sounds weird.
Does it? Or are you just yeah, and I will see you all in 10 minutes. So right around 8:20 / 10:20 if you are on that East Coast. Okay. See you soon. Hello, everybody. It's me again, your GM Lace, here to continue this wild ride.
Isn't she dreamy?
So dreamy, hashtag. um, yes, we are back at it. We have just finished depositing some items, if we want to say, Alvi, that we're already near Perch. If we want to swing by also Alvi's workshop and drop off Aurelia and any other items.
Can I drop off Aurelia in a place that won't disturb the ghosts in my workshop? Like, do I?
Yeah.
Because I'm still interested in that academic ghost.
Yes. So you could leave her with Din. Or you could, I suppose there are other places in the Vermissian that you would know of that you could kind of squirrel her away. They would just be a little bit harder to get to, maybe.
Any place that's not like, don't I have like a home that's not just in the Vermissian? Like, do I not have like a?
Yeah, you do. So yeah, you could also, we'll just,
I
for
might
brevity's
just, like,
sake, just say you can stash that, and if you want to, Sven, and anything else that y'all procured while
No,
you were
Sven
at
comes
the...
with me now.
Sven's with you now. Okay, it's Sven on a rope. Leash
My
is
buddy.
coming with you. All right, and we're back. You're ushered back into the halls of the Vermissian, and Saren kind of leads you down paths and through places that you would have overlooked easily, right? In your attempts to traverse the Vermissian before, and the cat is there, and there are times where like you all at the same time kind of blink dust out of your eyes, and as you kind of like finally like, oh god, rub it out of your eyes, you're in an entirely different part of the Vermissian. No idea particularly how you got there. At one point, Edic and Alvi, I would say, as the most familiar. Anders, I think, would recognize this area too from your time as Sten. You recognize like you're passing through parts of the Vermissian that are adjacent to or might pass through Derelictus. And a few moments later, as you get kind of you kind of find this stairwell that leads down and down and down under Derelictus, and as as you do, I enjoy watching Tyler's face as as these things are said.
The
And
heart.
yeah, and as you do, you there comes a point where Saren kind of steps off of one of these stairwells, and you all are following behind, and you hear her there. They use both. You haven't asked, but for the record, you hear their feet hit ground that doesn't quite sound the same as the stairwell or the passageways in the Vermissian. It almost squelches. And they kind of like nod, and they turn and they look at all of you, and they pull out that monocle again, and once more kind of examine over you, and say, all right, so we've never met before, which means this must also probably be your first time in the city beneath, right? Anyone traveled this far below Spire before? Kind of scans over you. Okay, well, the good news for you is things are okay right now. It's complicated. Just stay close, don't wander off. And yeah. As you as they kind of wrap this up, they start to continue down, and you all can follow. I presume you do, considering you've just been warned not to wander off.
I've been asking questions the entire time we've been walking. Like, I've just been pestering them with questions about like, where's this? How do you know this? What do you know this? What timeline do you think it would be? And that, like, just so many questions about.
This is like the first time you've noticed that Edic is actually genuinely interested in everything you're asking, Saren. And
Saren, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say the only thing that Edic would add to the list of questions that he just got from Alvi would be wanting to know why Byron can't be here.
Is it Church of the Hungry Deep, like somewhere in this area too?
I think
like beneath Derelictus?
Beneath Derelictus, yes. I believe the Church of the Hungry Deep is there. And I will say this. Saren answers most of your questions in ways that you can typically not figure out what exactly they mean. When you ask about Byron, they say they kind of tap their foot on the squelchy ground and say, the further we get down here, the weirder things get, and the less that kind of stuff. And they kind of wave their hands to mean demonic things, since you are talking about that. Eidolons and Eidolons, whatever, that shit, it stays kind of stable out in your part of the world. But there's no better way to bust one up than to expose it to this part of the world. And when that stuff gets busted, like I said, and they mime again, just heads exploding. And then they turn to Chew, and they say, "Did I ever tell you about the time Alvi sneezed and a bee shot out of her nose so hard it splashed coffee everywhere?"
Oh my gosh, you didn't. I'm here for it though. Being down here makes me feel so nostalgic. This is where I began my career.
Oh, that's right. You and Din, you've also pledged to the Hungry Deep, right? And is it part of the requirement of the Hungry Deep cultists that you have to have been to like where the Hungry Deep originates from?
No, but Chu ended up down here after her durance ended. She like crawled down here and got found. So
Okay. All right. Yeah, and as you say that, Saren kind of like nods a little and says, "Oh, I forgot. We did have one who's been here before." And they kind of bring that monocle a little closer and like focus it. It seems to have a secondary lens that can focus, that you have not noticed before. And as they do this, they nod a little, and they kind of they reach out to touch your face. Will you let them touch your face?
yeah, I think she's cool with it.
Okay.
I think yeah.
Yeah, and they kind of
Saren's
like
cool.
poke at your lips to expose your teeth. And as they expose your teeth a little, teeth. My shirt says teeth, in case anyone was wondering. It just says teeth. And as they do this, they look over your teeth and they focus the monocle again, and they're like, yep, tracks. And that's all they say about
I
it.
do brush my teeth pretty regularly.
Good. Yeah, and you all continue. There are a few more instances of this kind of like dust in your eye circumstance when like the surroundings change. The sense of direction that you get from here is down. You are descending. And the landscapes are absolutely bizarre and wild. You are passing things that just, there are some things that you see that seem to be stable or stationary. And where you're walking seems to form stable and stationary around you. But if you think too hard about it or you look behind you, some of the corridors that were before a straight path are now split into three, or don't appear to have anywhere to go at all. They just end behind you. Things don't stay the same down here, especially as you get kind of deeper in. And as you're kind of doing this, you get to one of these more kind of stable, stationary places. And Saren kind of calls for you to stop walking for a second. And they kind of sniff at the air a little, like lick their finger and like as if they're testing wind. You can't feel any wind. And they're like, the good times, the bloom is ending. We're in for a long rot, I think. None of this makes sense to you, particularly, but they say this as if like, yes, very sensical. And then they say, like I said, stay close. We should have we sh- you should be done here by the time that happens. And you carry on deeper and deeper into the heart of Spire. Um, so as they're walking, oh yeah,
Are we going towards the heart, like the actual heart?
you are already in the part of the world that would be the heart. There are tiers, kind of like depths to which you can go. There are you see people as you're walking, especially at these kind of like stationary waypoints along the way that seem to be more stable. And like Saren, they tend to be rough, dressed in like thick, kind of almost like they're in the wilds or the wilderness, but they're in this kind of like, and the places that you stop are like as if little bits of random pieces of city that are completely that are absolutely incomplete, right? You've got like a neighborhood with like 7 houses and a store next to like an office building, and that's it in this spot. And then you keep going, and then there's just like half of a market that has like 4 stalls that are mostly unattended. And then right, and so these like weird little blips of like as if a city is just kind of like spread out into like these strange, unstable, non-stationary places.
So would I be uncomfortable? So I know that like with the deep apiarists, there's like the actual like hives and shit are in the heart, aren't they? But I
Yeah.
also am like very anti-agents of the heart. Like the hives are there to protect from the evil that the heart is, right? So
Yes, correct. So deep apiarists do there are deep apiarists who spend time in the heart. Quite a few of you down here actually. So the dislike for the heart comes with a sense of the need for containment or protection from it. And the deep apiarists do come down here. They don't and reside here, some of them, and send the bees from down here out with people like you.
right.
So I would say like it's not like a place that a deep apiarist would be like, I am absolutely not going there. It's against my everything, right? In fact, it's kind of the opposite for some, and you can
Mhm.
kind of take whatever stance you want. However, the heart, by and large, to you represents evil, badness, things that need to be contained, concealed.
I
And
think I would be both like excited but also on edge.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And yeah, so as they go, they will kind of be like explaining a little bit about what's going on. Especially as you get a little bit closer, they're like, we're not too far now from the haven that holds the things that I need you to look at. So I guess in the future you already know this because now I'm explaining it to you. In your future, you'll already know this. Because right now, okay. But what you need to know is logic doesn't matter down here so much.
Well, that's not true. Logic matters everywhere.
As you say that, like you see off in the distance this like winged bird-like humanoid creature swoop down, snatch up a gutterkin like rat-like creature, which then pulls out some sort of like bomb and throws it into the air, causing like this like array of like crackling, sparking colors to just like flash, and the harpy thing that like attacked this gutterkin like squawks and drops it, and the rat person kind of like skitters off, and there's just like this loud screeching, and
Noodle, no.
um and as that and then as that happens, where the sparks kind of like hit up against the corridor ceiling, that's kind of ahead of you, which before and behind you, you hadn't really noticed that there was a ceiling at all in this corridor. The corridor opens, and like this like worm-like creature just kind of comes down with like teeth and just like snatches up the harpy, goes back inside, and it disappears. And instead of anything else on the ceiling, there's just like some singe marks from where the sparks hit it from this rat's thing that it threw. And so, and Saren kind of looks at you and nods and is like, yeah, logic, like I said, hard. I don't, if I, here's the thing. If you, it's weird to tell you things that you already know about me, but I guess you don't.
No
I,
idea who you are.
they kind of like nod again and they're like, I'm trying to keep that in my head, but it's really, it doesn't.
Maybe you just wrote it all down in like a journal, and
They
then I
pull
could
out
read.
a journal where they've written down so many things and they're flipping through and they're like, okay, you're right. Let me find this one. And they're like, so remember the time that and like, they're dead serious that you have literally just told them that you don't remember, you know nothing about them. And they're like, so you remember the time that there was and they're, they're like, I do write it down. Okay, this is, and they close the journal. And they put the journal away. They say, we're getting off topic. Sometimes when I need help with logic, you help me. And then I do a thing that I can do to help you, where you get to ask questions and I get to, and they pull out a crystal ball and I get to tell you answers because you helped me. That's how it works. It's an exchange. I would do anything for you, Alvy, but I can't make the magic work different than it works. And I need you to solve some puzzles for me.
Oh,
Puzzles.
Just come on. And they gesture. And they put the crystal ball back in their bag.
I am still staring at the burnt area where the worm came, or the bomb hit and stuff as we're walking.
As you all pass it and Alvy's staring at it, Chew and Din, you look up at it and you see the pattern, and Alvy would see this too, but it would mean more to Chew and Din. The pattern of where the sparks hit now looks, as you come in like into focus directly underneath it like is changing perspective on you, and it looks now like the gaping maw teeth of the hungry deep. And it kind of like, as I think Chew, especially as you pass it, there seems to be like a little belching noise, and dropping out of the ceiling is a bone picked completely clean and bleached as if it's been in the sun for days, weeks.
Can Chew like snatch it?
Yeah, Chew
Am I
can snatch
close
it up.
enough?
Mm-hmm.
Chew snatches it and holds onto it for a little bit.
Okay, you have a harpy bone. You can put that in your inventory.
Yes,
bleached
I'm
harpy
channeling my
bone.
inner Pippa.
Yeah. Okay. So as you're walking, they're kind of muttering to themselves, and you see now that Mittens Kristoff has been joined by two other cats with slightly different markings, and the cats are running about, and one of them comes over to consult with Saren for a moment, and Saren has you all kind of stop and wait for a minute, and they turn to you and they say, okay, look, things are always changing down here. The cats are on it, but we have to wait. If you want to think about the questions you're going to ask. I guess you've never been through this before. Let me look up the
We
rules.
ask questions to the cats?
Nope. Then they pull the crystal
to
ball
the
back out.
crystal ball.
And then they put it back,
Oh,
and they pull
right,
out
yes.
the journal, and they flip
Yeah.
through the journal, and you see in your own handwriting a list of rules. And Saren is like, it literally makes my head hurt to look at these because they're just a list of logical rules that Saren finds very disturbing. And the rules in your own handwriting say that ask simple questions. Short answers are better. Shorter answers mean more questions. Don't ask her how it works. Those are your 4 rules.
He bites her lip. Just. Guess I need to listen to myself.
Heed your advice, Alvi.
It's hard.
She turns to Albie and she's like, well, you had to
The
figure those
omniscient
rules out
sage
somehow, you know. I mean, so maybe you don't have to listen to yourself right now. And that way you could listen to yourself later, you know?
Right, because what if I don't come up with these rules, if I don't find out that I need to have these rules first, right? I might need to, the first session might need to be long questions and difficult answers and
Now
in
you're
order for
thinking
me
with
to write this
Jordan.
down in the future for myself in the past now, right?
Yeah.
Saren turns and looks at you and just like shakes their head and is like, did you read the fourth thing on the list?
Yes, but how did I know not to do that? I had to.
It says
Maybe I had
don't
to.
question.
But maybe I had to question
She
in order
was
to
like
know that I
super
shouldn't question.
smugly laughing in the background.
Saren is like, oh God, my head.
Maybe I had to question to know that I shouldn't question. Maybe I should question now to know why I shouldn't question in the future.
Din, I think it's you who, as all of this is going on, I think Din never drops her guard entirely. And especially in this unknown place, you hear coming up the tunnels. It's very distant and quiet at first. And you kind of listen closer as Alvi is but I have to know. I have to, yeah. And in between her protests, you hear what sounds like chanting coming up the tunnels. It's very far away, but maybe it's getting closer. And you listen, maybe you even hush Alvi a little bit. And now, thanks, very, very appropriate. As you are listening, Alvi, Eddic, you start to catch it. All of you start to catch it, and the words start to sound familiar. Every few words start to sound familiar. And in fact, do you think, are those the names of Vermissian stations, like train stations from the failed train system? And they're mingled in with other names of places that you've never been to. You don't think they exist, but they're chanting them as if they're chanting a list of train stations. And as this starts to grow louder, Saren looks up, distracted as they were with the cats and kind of figuring out where to go next. And they go, ah, fuck. There's also this little problem. The cultists, the signal box cultists, they've been hot on my trail for days now. We've got to. And they look around and they like talk to the cats again quietly and urgently. And the cats start running off. And she's like, I think we can go. I think we can. Oh, fuck. And like, let's go. And starts to rush you down the direction behind one of the cats.
So I actually do have a list of all of the Vermissian stations.
Yeah, would you like to chant a few of them for us?
Well, I got Endline. Well, so this is like the stations, but also the things that worship in the place too. So there's Endline, Polaris, the Last Train, the Shrine to Our Lady of Vengeance, the Terror of Candlegate Station is one of the other big things, and Book Street Bridge.
So Candlegate,
I have from the book.
yeah, these are kind of names of stations that are coming. The chanting is definitely growing louder still, and Saren is trying to hurry you along. Following? Not following?
Do we need someone to handle that?
Yeah. Can you handle that? Does that be great?
Yeah.
They've been following me
can-
for the whole pulse. I mean, it's been really something.
It's just gonna it can give me quite a headache, so I'll pass out or anything if you know someone could just make sure I'm okay and drag my body, you know. All right. Can you tell me a bit about these people? Just very quick, rapid fire.
They worship the Vermisian train system. They dress in the moldy, like, curtains from the old boxcars. They carry things like train levers and tracks that they weld into their own bodies. They how's this? Are you getting it all?
Yeah. So as they're telling me this, I'm slowly like I'm muttering to myself a prayer to Lumiere. To or no, Laco? Which
Lacule
one
is
is my
the red blood one.
I
Lombre
want which
is
one?
Well, that's
Lombre.
Lombre.
Thank
the
you.
other one,
Lombre.
the third
Lombre.
one,
Um
the Dark Moon.
the third one. Process of elimination. Yeah. So yeah, I am praying to Lombre for a single night's grace. We are going to be just as they're kind of funneling just fast facts about this group, we're going to be creating a very off the cuff persona here. So I'm going to take a d6 of stress.
Go ahead and
So
roll that.
let's hope I roll low. Um, 3. Okay. Let me double check to see where it goes. Uh, Here we go. Mark D6 stress to beseech Lombre for aid to cast this spell. Choose a cover you do not possess. Now inhabit it until the next sunrise. May not remove it beforehand for any reason. So it doesn't say where the stress goes.
Okay.
Um,
We'll say it doesn't quite matter because as the stress kind of, it would probably be mind or blood, and as that
mhm.
happens, Saren sees what you're doing, grabs a pinch of that dust, and once again blows it, this time on Anders, and like earlier with Edic, the effect of the stress dissipates. You feel like your mind and body like starting to like take that familiar damage from doing this spell.
Mhm.
And the dust kind of like, as it hits your face, it just kind of takes the effect of it away. We're not even going to roll Fallout for it.
Awesome.
Ooh,
Um,
they're nice to have around.
Can I ask what um Anders slash Anders temporary persona, what it is you're wearing, and if like a dark cloak or something like that might help.
Uh, yeah. So Anders has his persona gear in his bag that he carries with him, but nothing new aside from the Elfir garb. So yeah, anything that if there's anything around in the area that that I could just pick up and grab to kind of aid in my
if you're offering a cloak,
transformation.
Edic,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm offering a cloak. I'm not offering my cloak. I am going to use my dead drop ability. So at the cost of 1 silver, I find exactly what I need. Much like last time, it was the listening
Cup.
cup. This time I am conferring. I've found a little cache of supplies to help Anders out with his current mission of whatever the hell he's going to do about these cultists. Um, and so we've got a dark cloak to conceal you. Um, uh, I don't know.
you heard among the other things that they were talking about, Saren mentioned that like levers from like train conductor stations or like signal boxes, train tracks that have been dug up, and like the the metal of them have been converted into like makeshift weapons, as well as like fragments of like the tiles and things from like the stations would all be things that like these people would adorn themselves or carry as weapons. So like necklaces
Is
kind of
Anders
made of,
attempting to disguise himself as one of them?
yeah, I think he's made.
Yeah. Anders is warping his body
Okay.
to become one of them, and anything that y'all can give him to aid in that.
Yeah. Well, then that just so happens to be what's inside of this dead drop. You've got useful equipment, so you have a whole bunch of you know, train spikes, you know, the I don't know, a nice headpiece that is like the that front section of a train. Um yeah, general train gear.
General train gear.
General
Choo
train gear.
choo!
Thus is he
Excellent.
named now.
That's your name, General Train Gear. Can I just say that while this is happening, Alvy is uncomfortably and awkwardly sharing facts about the train stations or the stations that she knows. So she's going to tell you that did you know that the Candlegate station was one of the only or one of the few exterior stations that they jutted out from the edge of Spire before they, halted the construction indefinitely. But now there's only people that go there, people who are desperately trying to escape the authorities because it is the domain of the Candlegate Killer. He is a terrifying and vicious figure, half legitimate threat, half urban legend. Who knows, but he's taken the candle line as his own. I just thought that was really interesting. I could tell you more.
I really hope upon seeing this, like, Saren has just like started like fawning.
So much useless information.
So as you're finishing up that last useless fact, it seems like Anders has lost like 3 or 4 inches as like a hunch has kind of grown on his back. Looks like he's aged about 70 plus years, very decrepit looking, grows a very long white beard, and his eyes are very wide and glassy. And he just waddles up to Alvy. I am the Candlekeep Killer.
And
Nice.
Alvy screams.
Saren also screams. Saren hides behind Din, I think, seeing Din as the most perhaps fearsome among you. And is like, "They're the signal box cultists," like pointing directly at Anders. Again, has literally witnessed Anders transform into, but facts and logic don't seem to stick super well with Saren. And they hide behind you, Din, and they're like, they've been trying to kill me. They've been trying to kill me. And like, and they start like pulling you back as like a meat shield. And they grab Alvy's hand as they do this. And with one hand, and then like seeing that like maybe you're going to continue protecting them, they like gesture to Chew, and they pull Chew over, and like thinking perhaps that like Chew is also going to be like held close. Nope, she shoves Chew forward as another meat shield.
Yep.
And like Edic, I think, wherever you were in this group, like you've been kind of like pulled in among the group. Like they have like pulled everyone close to them, and tried to form this little ring of like protection between themselves and our new Candlelight Killer. Although they seem to also be trying to keep Alvy close to their side in a little bit more of a protective state than with the rest of you.
Check.
I think that's Anders. I know that I screamed, but it was just startling because I've never seen this Anders before. But I'm pretty sure that's Anders. Anders, is that you?
Hello.
Yes, I thought so. I thought as much. Just a little. You got me. It's fine.
At this point, Din is dissociating.
Din's just in the wind.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Chu is just kind of soaking all of this in and enjoying every second of chaos.
Yeah, so at this point, yeah, Saren like is kind of taking cues from Alfie that perhaps they don't need to freak out entirely about this cultist in their midst. But they're just gonna start like rapidly being like they they come after people like me and they try to and you and they point to Alfie and Edic. They're not safe either. They like anyone who's spent any amount of time in the Vermisian. They mime cutting your throat, just blood all over. They like to sacrifice, and they think it helps. It doesn't help. It doesn't do shit, but they think it does.
They do not want my blood.
They think they do. You better not let them know. And they pull out their monocle again, and they examine you, and they're yeah. You spent enough time in the Vermisian. Definitely, they'll want you.
So should we be leaving?
I don't. What's
I'm
and
going to deal with the problem.
okay.
Goodbye. And then just gonna turn around and go towards the chanting voices.
And
Okay.
I'll just go, be safe. And I'll
No!
All right. What is? Are we just going by the
She
candle?
shakes her fist at the sky.
Candle Night
Uh,
Killer. Is there a name?
General
so-
train gear.
Yeah, General
General
Train Gear.
Gear.
I have many names. He shouts back, by the way, my name is Waxy.
Waxy.
Waxy, yes.
Okay.
Oh, I love that.
That's wonderful. As as you head down the hall, okay. You approach the group behind you is kind of fading down behind you in the hall, and ahead of you, the chanting is now growing loud rapidly as you approach. You come to a kind of T intersection, and from the left, a group approaches. 4 cultists, and then you look again, and no, actually, there's a 5th. They're just very hard to see. They seem to have some sort of armor or enchantment on whatever they're wearing to deflect vision kind of away from them. And there are, you see now 5 approach, and they are dressed similarly to you, though you kind of, those things where it's like, this is a cat drawn by a person who's never seen a cat, or like a lion, or whatever, drawn by you've kind of done that with like what was plus like
Sure.
Edic's like dead drop. I think the ability of that is occult, right? It's not simply like Edic doesn't have to like think, oh, this is what I think it looks like. It's more like he needed a cloak that looks like it belongs in this. So I would say that you do have a little like extra boost to your camouflage here because of the dead drop. And you see one of them kind of in the front has just like this bent piece of like heavy metal railing that they're holding over their shoulder. It is train railing. It's like pulled up, broken off from train tracks that they're holding like as a club or something that could like whack somebody. You see another one has like their hand like very Wolverine style, like grafted with like the spikes that are driven into railroads to like hold the metal in place, like grafted into their hand. They don't have fingers. They just have these like spike claw things on both sides, both hands. And the ones kind of in the back a little bit more, you can't really tell on the person with the armor that deflects gaze, but the other 2 you can see like lining their belts. They have like bandoliers of like little round things that I think Anders would pretty easily recognize, or Anders Plus company from his time in the wars as grenades, smoke bombs, explosives.
Sure.
They see you and they kind of pull up short, and the one in front, people down here typically don't cover their faces or anything, like in Spire, because you are not exposed to the sun, nor are you a high elf who would like to wear a mask. And so the people are just kind of exposed out. They have these kind of deep hoods, but you can see this person appears to in the front who's kind of leading this group. The chanting kind of fades as they see you approach and they stop to consider you. And the person in front, under their kind of deep cloak again of this kind of molding curtains from the old train carts, one of them looks like they, like stripped the upholstery off of one of the like seats in the cars, things like that, is mostly what they've adorned themselves with. And the one in the front has kind of drow like features, but a little different than most drow that you've met. Kind of, it's hard to put your finger on, but just kind of strange, in a way that, like, can't quite define what it is that makes them seem different, but maybe something about the way they carry themselves, maybe something about the way that their faces look. It's just weird. It's like it's not quite the same, but appears more or less to be drow, and is in the front, and the others behind them. This is the one carrying the big bent railing. And they kind of size you up. Huh. Haven't seen you around.
Hello!
What?
I bring a message. 'Twas whispered to me in the old rail area.
In the what? The old railed area?
The old rail area is what
Okay.
we're going with.
Okay.
This guy's a little senile.
I'm looking things
You-
up in the
you-
book. Sorry.
You are the cult, correct? You do worship the you. I heard the lullaby of my dreams.
They kind of collectively like take a step back and like kind of like keeping their eyes on you, put their heads together and like whisper behind their their hands. And the one in the front kind of looks at you again as the conference kind of concludes, and looks again and is like, what dreams?
A great blasphemer that the faithful must hunt. The blood that they have spilled, I have been told, will, once they are killed, fill a great basin for the Vermisian.
Go ahead and roll deceive. With occult.
Sure, which I have now because in case we were
That's
wondering,
good.
I went with occultist. Great. So that's gonna be 3d10. Let's hope this goes well.
Oh, you
Yay.
lucky bastard.
Yes.
critical success.
Nice.
The one in the back that's in the armor that kind of deflects vision, you hear them kind of speak up for the first time, the only other person to have spoken besides the one with the railing, and they say, "This is also the dream that I have had of the basin with the blood." And the others kind of like fall silent as they step forward a little bit. And again, like it is not easy to behold this person. They are not doing anything to attempt. And they kind of look you over and they're like, which of the signal boxes have you come from?
Remind me. It's the Candlekeep. What's the Candlekeep? Where I am the killer of Candlekeep.
So glad that that's the story that I shared.
Oh my god, it's wonderful. They the others besides the person in the armor kind of immediately start whispering again amongst themselves. And the one in the armor kind of like shuffles a little closer, and as they do, you see that this person is also quite old, has kind of very weathered skin, no beard or anything, no hair at all, in fact, and like including eyebrows just gone, just some like scars on their face, and they kind of get closer and they look at you. Um, I had heard the rumors, but rather thought you were just rumors of the above folk. The basin, our prey, is near. The bloom almost over. Are you joining us in the hunt?
No. Your prey is far away, but in order to fill the basin, you must go far away.
Roll deceive
Sure.
again. Well,
And
actually,
I'm gesturing. I'm
last
gesturing
time?
upwards.
this is, I think,
This is what happened last time, in that you had success and success until you didn't.
this is maybe actually
What?
compel, because you're trying to get them to do something.
Sure.
So we're gonna switch it to a compel occult,
Great.
and this is going to be at difficulty because they
Sure.
have tracked Saren here.
That's
So we'll
fair.
say at difficulty
Could-
1 because you've already deceived them that you belong.
Do you already have compel?
I do.
Okay.
So
Sarah, you okay?
let's hope this goes well.
Okay. -1. So you are going to take stress because it was at difficulty. But so
Okay.
an 8 was rolled at difficulty 1. -1 is a 7. So you are
Yep.
going to take stress for this. Oh, what stress?
But it's still a success. They're still leaving.
Well, I still haven't given them their target.
Let me
Callisto
think here.
Brox.
I think this is going to be mind stress. And
Sure.
all right. Here's the roll. Have you realized I never roll a fucking 2 on a D3? It's always a 1 or a 3. So that's gonna be 3 mind stress for Anders / Waxy.
Of course it is,
I'm
because you
not-
rolled for Tyler, so.
Not surprised.
Last session, you rolled a 2 on a D3 for me.
Oh, okay. It's just it seems like it's
Good
always
memory.
3s and 1s, but yeah. Where does that put us for your total stress?
So that is going to put us at 5 total stress.
Okay. Okay,
And
I
of
will
course,
roll
it's for Tyler, so it
a
had to be a
D10.
3.
That's
Oh,
a
God damn
1,
it.
so we are gonna go ahead
Oh
and take
no!
fallout from this. Interesting. One moment. While I look up some stress for you. I do think that this is going to be a mind stress fallout, even though most of your stress is to other things, right?
Yes, you could also, I don't know if you'd want to, because I don't know what the options are, but there are specific cover fallouts.
Oh, that's right.
That that you could do, which would be in Strata. I don't know what page though.
Okay, hang on just a second. So, and you were at how many total? You were at 5
I was at 5, so it's gonna be moderate.
moderate fallout.
Oof.
I guess it's better than severe.
Yeah. Because I'm very glad that I'm taking Fallout now and not later. Rauka learned that.
Just 1 second. Sorry.
Sure.
Okay. The mind stress that the dust from Saren kind of swept away, and the kind of stress of the ongoing need to maintain this cover in the face of this. You are going to, there are special fallouts for heart. So we have,
Oh, fun.
so you are going to take a delusion.
Sure.
And I think that Anders, not just Waxy, has taken the delusion of you've actually been the Candlekeep killer. When you drop this disguise, it's not that you feel compelled to go back and kill more. It's that like
Right.
the rumors about it and everything, like that's because of something that you did. And
Right.
Anders now has this kind of like guilt or whatever you think Anders would have from this
Yeah.
kind of complex coming along with this delusion that you are in fact the Candlekeep killer.
Yeah.
I hate this, but I love this.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. You know what? I'm a little bit glad that I took some moderate fallout for this, because
I can't believe that, like, this is just the random fact that I shared. I was like, I could have shared any of the other random facts about the cult of Lekole that exists at one of the stations, but it's fine. This is the one that I chose, and this is what's
Knowledge
happening.
is power,
right.
baby.
You can also erase 5 stress because you did take that fallout.
Great. We're gonna just take all of our mind stress back. 3.
So you're leaving the others?
Then... so I'm still gonna be at 2 stress after all that.
Oh, because did you take some resistances?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, wait, you were at 7? But no.
Okay. All right. So they now, despite being able to smell Saren, whom they have tracked here with the intent to kill, they are now reasonably convinced that they need to go somewhere else. And the one in the armor kind of like nods a little and says, like, kind of looks off into the distance a bit and says, yes, the ways of the trains are unknown and unknowable, and the others all kind of nod as if this is well known truths. The basin, the blood, what do you know of it? What can you, where do we go? How do you, if not this one, it gestures down the hall towards where Saren presumably still is with the others, then where?
You are to go to the city above. There you will find a killer known as the Swan and or Callisto Brox.
God.
What?
Oh my God, you're turning these cultists loose on Callisto.
Gosh, I'm so glad.
I'm gonna take some notes for a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay,
Sure.
well, okay, so I think we're gonna be getting some advances from today's session because one, we have first of all, we've encountered Saren, which is pretty monumental, but that probably doesn't count for much. But I feel like having now identified this insane killer and he's our party member might mean something. And obviously the killing of Callisto Brox is going to be something, but that has to happen.
I said I would handle it, and here we are,
Thank you, Tyler.
creating a new problem for us later.
Throwing all of
Yeah.
Elise's plans in the
No, I
garbage.
love this so much. Okay. Wow. So, you tell them this. They kind of nod. The one in the armor looks back at the others and says, "Well, this is the way of the train. Then it's the will that we must follow. Let us begin our hunt for Callisto Brox." And the others just kind of whisper, "Callisto." And they
Jesus.
turn and start heading down the hallway in the other direction. And the one in the back, one of the ones with like the bombs, kind of turns and looks at you and just like, "Bye." And they sure do head off the other
Well, they
way.
sure did get derailed. And then Edic.
Oh, we thought Sam.
No.
Ruh-roh.
Oh, he's back,
Uh,
maybe.
Okay. We didn't hear. We heard that they sure got derailed, and then Edic.
Oh shit, sorry. I said they got derailed, and then Edic goes and reaches for his necklace to be like, that was a good one, wasn't it? But he's not
Aw.
there.
So
Aw.
sad.
See ya.
Anders,
Single tear.
go ahead, or Waxy, I suppose. Like Waxy. Am I missing the pun? I'm so sorry, but WAXY, like it's waxy,
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
like candle wax.
like
Yeah.
candle wax. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying for a
Hear the
train
candle
pun.
keep
I know.
going, yeah.
I was trying for a train pun, and I was like, is wax a thing that trains need?
You gotta,
Okay.
you gotta lube up the rails.
Yeah, really keep them slick. Roll a luck die for me.
Sure. That's a 9.
Yep, that is very lucky. You turn around, and in fact, the passageway that you came down has not changed much.
Oh god.
And instead of being lost in the heart, by yourself in the garb of a cultist of the signal box, you do find your way relatively easily back to your group. And Theron once again startles at the sight of you. But I think that's where we're going to stop for the night. So very well done. Diverting combat that would have been very difficult for you. There's a whole plan for combat that, as many GMs have done before me, I now just ball up and throw over my shoulder and say, you know what? Diplomacy first. What can I say? All those bombs, you could have looted off the bodies, you guys, but also
So many.
honestly, there were other things you could have looted that would be really cool, but you also wouldn't have wanted to get hit by those things because some of these do like D8 savage damage. So very lucky for you. Or not lucky, but well played.
Thanks,
let's
Waxy.
yeah, Waxy the Candlekeep Killer. Oh boy, I love it. Okay, that is it for tonight. Fabulous game, very well played to all of you. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat. Had a lot of fun. Hope you did too. And we will pick up next week, most likely. Gonna get to see Saren's puzzles, and we will go from there. Anything else before we sign out tonight, Firelings?
If you haven't already and you're interested, there is a brand new survey out. If you identify under the big LGBTQIA plus umbrella and want to play some special games with us next month, go ahead and sign up. It is available, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or any of the other staff. We're happy to help.
Woo! Thank you. Yes, very much looking forward to that. I haven't filled it out yet, but I'm gonna. Anything else? We set? Okay then. Say goodnight, friends. We'll see you next week.
Good night, friends.
Good
We'll see you
night,
next
Good night,
week.
friends. Bye.
Good night.